In this quick workflow demonstration, I'm going to show you how I would create a composite combining this image with this cow and this spaceship. Now, the cow and the spaceship come from a collection called the Hamera Photo Clip Art Collection. I purchased this from my favorite computer store. You get thousands of images for like $30 or something like that. Very cool. And you can use it for whatever you'd like, whatever nefarious purpose you'd like. And this image comes from the CD, the special content CD that comes with your Photoshop CS3 install. So I'm going to hide this Hamera for now. I don't need that guy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some drag and drop into this image once I finish preparing these images here. So the first thing I want to do, of course, is get rid of the green and the maroon color and drag these images right into this guy. So I'm going to go to my select menu and I'm going to choose color range. With this command, you get this dialog box, and I'm going to click with the eyedropper tool right in the green. And as you can see right away, it gives me an outline. And this is the area that's going to be selected for me. So I'm going to click OK. And now it does a great job getting rid of all the green. But what I want to do is I want to go to now, select, and I'm going to choose inverse. And now I'm going to drag Bessie right into this image with the move tool. So I'm going to click and drag, and there she goes. And I put her down on the ground. There's no grass there, so she's eating the tarmac. Not good for you, Bessie. Now I'm going to go ahead and just hide that for now. And I'm going to do the same thing with the spaceship. I'm going to go to the select menu. I'm going to choose color range, and I'm going to choose all that maroon there. Click OK. And by the way, guys, I'm going very fast because, I just want to show you a demonstration as to how I would work. I would be more careful with my selections in reality. So I'm going to drag and drop this right on into this image as well. And once again, I don't need the spaceship. And now I can press F on my keyboard to go to a nice full screen view. I'm going to get my layers out, and I'm going to double click where it says layer 2 and name this UFO. And we're going to name Bessie Bessie, the traditional name for cows everywhere, approved by 4 out of 5 dentists. Now on the UFO layer, I'm going to press Command or Control T so I can scale the ship down and move it into position. And I'll just go ahead and double click to accept that. And what I'm going to do is create another new layer, and this is going to be my beam, because the ship is going to beam Bessie aboard the ship. Now, whether they're going to talk or eat the cow, we don't know. These are UFOs, man. So now with my beam layer, I'm going to go ahead and expand my tools and grab my polygonal lasso, and I'm going to draw a beam from the ship to Bessie. And of course, Bessie knows not what is happening. Poor Bessie. We'll miss you, man. Now I have my tractor beam. All right, not very impressive. Now I'm going to change the color swatch color to something like a greenish, light greenish color like this. And then I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to choose fill, and I'm going to choose the fill with the foreground color. Now I'm going to deselect this by pressing Command or Control D, and now I'm going to go to my filter menu and choose blur, Gaussian blur. And as you see, I have a nice blur already with the 17.3 pixel radius, but I can increase that or decrease it as I wish. I'll go ahead and accept that. And last but not least, I'll drop the opacity down so I get this nice beam. And now we have this cool image created from 3 separate images, and we have Bessie about to be beamed up onto this ship for dinner, as a guest or as the main course. So, as you can see, Photoshop works well with other applications where you can just drag and drop images right on in. You can also get rid of any colors that are around your other images. You can use tools such as the select menu to choose color range to select all your images. You can inverse the selection so you can get exactly what you want, and you can put them into your composite. Now, one last thing I'm going to do is give Bessie a shadow. Now, let me show you how cool this is going to be. It's very easy. I'm not going to do a very, very realistic shadow, of course. I'm going to choose Bessie. I'll make one more layer, and I'll put it underneath Bessie. I'll drag this layer down, and I'll name it shadow. And of course, I double clicked a little too hard there, so I'll call it shadow. And I'm going to draw a shadow manually based on the color of this tarmac here, and I'll drop that down. And I'm simply going to grab my polygonal lasso again, and I'm just going to draw an outline of a shadow that I think will look good for Bessie. Not the greatest shadow ever, but it'll work because we're going to blur it like we did last time. So I'm going to just draw the shadow out. I'm going to fill it in with that foreground color. I'm going to deselect it, and once again, we're going to apply a Gaussian blur to that shadow. And now Bessie looks a little bit more cemented into this environment because we have a nice shadow under the cow itself. So, as you can see, Photoshop is quite handy. It can do quite a lot of things. And all you have to do is really use your imagination because there is no right or wrong technique. Now, many people will have different ways of doing the same exact thing. So, having said that, I want you to just enjoy Photoshop, learn as much as you can. And the number one secret to learning and mastering Photoshop is to experiment. Bring in anything. Bring in any picture you have, a coffee mug, your Aunt Matilda. Bring it into Photoshop, add all kinds of filters, glows, special effects, and that's really the best way to master this application.